Welcome everyone. Excited to do this talk because this has been quite a hot topic in metal for the last few weeks since Ken and Sandy did their little presentation, and they talked about Eddie as well. Both of them have had pretty amazing results with Bioresonance. I introduced it to Sandy and then she introduced it to Ken, and yeah, it's been a game changer as it has for Eddie. So I wanted to quickly do a presentation on it. This has been something on my radar for almost 10 years now. So I'm going to do a very, very quick breakdown of my story, how I got into health. I'm going to try and keep this to like 2 minutes just to set the scene for anyone who doesn't really know my story. I think most people here probably do. But I'm just going to keep this super, super short because I think it's useful just to set the context. And please, by all means, if you have any questions, please just put your hand up. Or talk. So this is actually the front cover from a presentation I did at Witty, thanks to David Layton, actually months ago. So tech can be used in a really smart way. This is one of the ways that we can use it. So I'm just going to jump straight to how I got into the world of health, because I think it's useful to have a backstory about how I got into this. Like everyone who works in holistic health, I come with my own story of healing something which was supposedly incurable. Or people grow out of it as they age. But eczema is something that I had for 30 years, and I was always given symptom masking treatments, which meant it would always come back. It never addressed the underlying cause. And it wasn't until my father suffered a stroke when I stumbled upon the underlying cause of the eczema. And obviously a stroke shook him, it shook the entire family. And I did a bit of investigation as to what led to his stroke. I'd already written a book about increasing testosterone naturally by that point, which is called Mojo Multiplier. It's actually how I started off with metal in 2014. I started seeing this word inflammation everywhere. I realized inflammation led to the high blood pressure, which led to his stroke. And then I connected the dots and realized that inflammation was underlying my eczema. So I went on a very strict anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle, and very, very quickly my skin healed from within by addressing the underlying cause. And that's how, in a nutshell, chronic inflammation became my main topic. It became like the main focus of my work. Marketers have said, this is crazy, market to everyone, talk to no one. The thing is, I've always said, you address this one thing and all of these symptoms can be addressed. These are the kind of conditions I've helped people reverse by addressing that one underlying condition. So the purpose of connecting bioresonance with that story is all I'm about now, for 9 years of being a coach, all I'm about is finding the underlying cause of imbalances. What's creating the inflammation? Inflammation is basically your immune system's response to a stressor on the body. So some kind of attack, some kind of foreign or alien intruder, something which isn't in alignment with nature, if you will, is entered the body or it's been exposed to something. So some kind of toxin and or chronic stress, also a stressor, is actually a perceived threat. So it's a physical threat or a perceived threat. And it's also due to deficiency of cell fuels. But I'm going to focus now on the main stressors being toxins. So we need to find the underlying cause. This was Harley Street, 2018. I took my dad to this bioresonance specialist. And what was very interesting to me was it picked out mercury in his mouth as being the main stressor on his body, causing the hypertension and his stroke. It was pretty, it couldn't be louder indicating this. 20 years prior to his stroke, his sister, my aunt, a naturopathic doctor, said to him, Tony, you need to get the mercury out of your mouth, your blood is toxic. And he ignored her because he trusted his local doctor instead. And then he had the stroke. So that was kind of interesting to me because it's just another confirmation of what can happen. This is one of the first ones I experienced in LA. It was at a fitness health expo in LA, I think it was 2014, and it was called the Sensitive Imago. This one's called NLS, and I'm going to give you a quick demo of a recent scan I did in Mexico about a year ago.
Scanning my gallbladder on this organo test machine. It's the one organ that's shown up as being
You'll see what it was. This is what it looked like. That's what it looked like before. And after we did some...
Show the before?
This is the before.
Okay.
These were your curves.
We've treated it for E. coli.
Yes, we treated it with lethal therapy, and we did 3 methotherapy, and this is how it looks now. With curves almost even.
Most of the black wrong. Now, I didn't have any major symptoms of my gallbladder, but I could have developed something like gallstones. And now it's virtually fine. Go figure. What showed up in my throat?
Your tonsils.
Tonsils. I've got swollen tonsils and it showed up. So we treated them as well. Here I am just with an electrode, just scanning my body using frequency. Frequency therapy used to be around beginning of the century, beginning of the 20th century. And everything about the body is frequency, different organs, tissues, bones, parasites, all of that stuff.
The organ. So now if we go look.
I'm getting treated by frequency. Amazing. So. With the amazing Claire, who likes to remain anonymous.
See, all your biochemicals are in the blue now. We had a lot of red before. And we had E. coli showing up and it's gone. So we have nothing showing up in the microorganisms.
What's E. coli doing on my gallbladder? And what's coronavirus doing in my throat?
You're feeding it.
I wasn't intentionally feeding it. This stuff is fascinating. You can't fix everything in one shot, but in a few sessions, you can fix a lot. Well done, Tesla, and all of you energy medicine pioneers.
Rife. That's part
Rife,
of the
Royal Raymond Rife.
Rife.
Some of these machines have 7,000 Royal Raymond Rife frequencies. This thing has Rife frequencies.
So let me just talk through this quickly. What this machine does is it picks up areas of low voltage in your body. So it will scan your whole body from head to toe, every organ, and it will then determine, because we are electrical, we're wired up like a house with different organs on different circuits. The body electric is actually the backbone of the work I do. And if we can determine where the areas of low voltage are, we can then determine what's causing the low voltage. So what she did is went down several layers to actually find out what was going on with my voltage. And then we treated it with frequency. By the way, if the term frequency is kind of new, consider us as energy beings. Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything about our body is frequency. Every organ, every tissue, every muscle, every bone, every parasite, every virus, everything has a frequency. So some of these machines have about 7,000 or 8,000 frequencies. Some have 100,000 frequencies that they ping off your skin to give feedback, and they can scan your body from head to toe. This is a brain scan I had in Malibu about, I don't know, half a year ago.
I think that my brain's good. Wow. Must be all the breath work I do every day.
Yes, oh my goodness.
And cold showers. And cold therapy, ice therapy.
Well, there you go. That produces so much circulation.
Oh, what's going on? So that was showing my brain is good, but interestingly at the end.
Around my eyes, and now I've got it getting picked up in the physical. I mean, my little kind of toy.
You can't see this, but at the end it showed my eyes having low voltage. Now at the moment my vision is 20/20, but it showed black spots. You can't really see with the quality of this image, but it showed black spots. And I thought this was very interesting because I did a GDV machine, which actually measures your biofield, the human biofield around the body. And there's incredible technology now that can actually pick up your whole biofield. And in energy medicine, they say disease is first made manifest in the biofield before it's in the physical. And this was a guy I met at a Joe Dispenza retreat. He's got the GDV machine and he measured my biofield.
And we're about to do next level stuff using really understanding the biofields and the body electric, drawing upon all kinds of principles from the likes of Dr. Jerry Tennant, Nassim Haramein, understanding quantum, understanding that we emit energy and energy comes from our fingertips. Everything is resonance and frequency. and Chris is pretty advanced in this. We're going to be using a GDV machine, and it's called BioWell.
You're just putting the fingers on, and literally it measures the energy output through Correllian photography.
But I mean, your feel it's really good. I like it. It's way above average.
Oh, that's good to hear. Can we have that on camera?
It is definitely. Oh yeah, it is definitely way above average. You're definitely doing good meditation. Otherwise, there wouldn't be that balance. And again, I mean, here's nothing where there's not enough energy, and so then it is actually quite normal that there's still things that have a higher energy than your average, because of course the body is constantly healing and replacing.
And healing, yeah.
And I mean,
can you see any organs that need any attention right now?
And if we go into the organs, and we, for example, then see where the biggest part is here, this one actually would be the only one which would be lower. So if we have something, it would be the eyes, and actually ears, nose.
So the reason I shared that was because two completely different technologies are picking up the eyes.
Really understand the biofield.
You know what? I'm going to stop there so we can have some questions. How much time do we have? 4 minutes left. So that's basically a synopsis of what I've experienced with myself. I've given you some examples of what bioresonance can be used for. If we start to think of the body as an electrical system, it's an energy system, we are energy beings, and we can use this incredible technology, which has actually been around for 100 years. So it's all resurfacing at a rapid rate now, and we can use this technology to actually determine imbalances, main stressors, and then we can use the technology to rebalance as well. But even if we just use it to determine imbalances and stressors on the body, it might say, like my dad, hey, you got mercury in your teeth, that's a stressor on your body, it's causing inflammation of the brain, the vape's going into the brain, it might be a good idea to have the mercury out very safely, of course. So we need to, I think it can be useful for a number of reasons. One, just determine those main toxins, and two, to treat if you don't do something else. It can also recommend dietary changes. It can pick out emotional imbalances. It can pick out parasites. So if you've got parasites, you can use frequency to clean the parasites, but you can also use other supplements, or you can go on a parasite cleanse. You can take ivermectin if you like. You can do a bunch of things to get rid of the parasites and use the technology to determine whether the parasites are there in the first place. So I think it's a really good way to help to take the guesswork away from what is at the underlying cause of illness. So these machines, I just want to say, if anyone has like any kind of chronic illness, including cancer, has an underlying cause. There's always a cause, or two or three. So if we can take the guesswork away, because before bioresonance, we'd use blood tests, do heavy metal tests, we do mold poisoning tests, we can test for parasites and your gut microbiome, and this technology just takes it to the next level. So I recommend it for anyone who has any kind of imbalance. Even if you're skeptical, talk to people who have had results. I recommend not using kind of mainstream search engines, because this stuff isn't very well reputed on the mainstream search engines. So talk to people in the holistic health space who've got results, and I can recommend machines. If you like, I've tried about 5 different machines now over the last 8-9 years. And any questions? I'm going to stop talking now. Let's start with Rob.